Thank you for your support, July channel members. Who will you vote next in BFDIA 23 and TPOT 20? The viewers voted on many questions spanning both upcoming episodes, and now it is time to see the results. I received 1,380 responses. Even though that's not as high as the last few times, that's still pretty good. First, I'll start with the questions about BFDIA 22. In that episode, Coiny, Book, and Needle got up for elimination, so I asked if you liked and disliked each of them. All three had at least 600 who liked them, and 400 who disliked them. I'll start with the likes, as I usually do. Book ended up with the most likes, getting 809. Needle wasn't too far behind with 751, and Coiny had only 602. The results for the dislikes sort of mirror the results for the likes. Book had the lowest with 427, Needle isn't far behind with 497, and Coiny is eliminated with 673 dislikes. The results for who my viewers think will win the prize also fits with who they say they gave a like. Book had the most people by a long shot, with 855 votes. However, Coiny had almost double the amount believing he would win the prize compared to Needle, with 348 to her 177. The results for who people think will be eliminated doesn't match the who people disliked question, though. Unsurprisingly, Book was by far the lowest, with just 144, but it was a close-ish race for Coiny and Needle that Needle ended up ahead in, with 664 compared to Coiny's 572. Next up, I asked who, out of the final four, the viewers believed to be the most to least likely to be up for elimination in the next episode. I did this by having them score each contestant 1 to 5, with 1 meaning they are less likely to lose, and 5 meaning they are more likely. The results were obtained by taking the number of responses for each score 1 to 5, multiplied by the respective number 1 to 5, added it together, then divided it all by the total amount of responses. Book is back to having the lowest score of the four, with an average of 2.67 out of 5. Coiny was in third place with a score of only slightly higher than Book, as he ended up with a 2.75 out of 5. Needle, in second place, was only a little higher than Coiny, but with a larger gap than between Coiny and Book, with a score of 3.01 out of 5. To the surprise of absolutely nobody, Tennis Ball has by far the highest score, with a whopping 4.19 out of 5. However, all four will be placed at stake for the next two questions, the likes and dislikes for BFDIA 22. In this section, you are directed to rate each one 1 to 5 based on if you are more likely to like them or dislike them. I left these skippable, so the number of responses on each question will be lower than the total responses, but not by that much. Predictably, Tennis Ball had the lowest score of the four with a 2.71 out of 5. In fact, he's the only one to be below a 3, so the only one more likely to be disliked than liked. Coiny was in 3rd place again, only a little above the inflection point of 3, with a score of 3.14 out of 5. He also had the most responses, though that probably doesn't mean much when the one with the fewest responses only had 3 less. The final 2 were really close together, but Needle has 2nd place with a final score of 3.49 out of 5. With a score of 3.55 out of 5, Book was rated as the contestant my viewers were most likely to like rather than dislike when rating her video. Now that the BFDIA questions are all done, it's time for an intermission. Only about 19% of the people watching my videos are subscribed. I bring this up because I have a goal to reach 25,000 subscribers by November 30th, and it would only take a small portion of the other 81% subscribing to make it to that milestone. I would highly appreciate it if you would subscribe to the channel. With that, back to the video. With that, we can now move on to the TPOT 20 half of the poll. With TV finally eliminated, it's kind of a wild card who might be eliminated from Bagged, but who do my viewers think will get out? All but one ended up with over 300 votes. One of those was Bottle, who nearly crested 400 votes as she got 397. CloudYay got 377 votes, so she is also safe. Out of Pen and Tennis Ball, the one who got more votes had their total end in 7, just like Bottle and CloudYay. Pen remains in the game with 347 votes, while Tennis Ball gets out with just 259. Wow, my viewers sure have it out for Tennis Ball, don't they? As for Death Pact yet again, the highest voted was Tree with 416. Fanny followed close behind, also over 400 with 403 votes. While I personally do not see this outcome happening, this is how my viewers voted. Marker stays in with 323 votes, and Black Hole is out with 238. Next up, I asked if you think the merge will happen in TPOT 20. On this question, 1,003 people believe the merge will happen, and 377 people believe that it won't happen. I then asked who you think is most to least likely to be up for elimination next in TPOT. I did it in the same format as the similar part of the BFDIA section, where you rated each 1 to 5, with 1 being less likely and 5 being more likely. I'll start from the lowest, who is Grassy with a score of 2.44 out of 5, which can be attributed to the spike of 1s. How thematically appropriate. Black Hole and Pen are next, and they are just 1/100th apart in their scores. Black Hole has a 2.57 out of 5, and Pen has 2.58. Also outside the top 10 are CloudYay and Donut, with scores of 2.71 and 2.86 out of 5 respectively. Up next are Fanny and Golf Ball, who are extremely close together with a difference of just 1/1000th. 2.891 out of 5 for Fanny, and 2.892 out of 5 for Golf Ball. Pencil and Winner are the last ones with a score under 3. Pencil is 2.9 out of 5, and Winner has 2.96 out of 5. Book, who has Leaves of Pages, has a score of 3.02 out of 5, and Tree, who has Actual Leaves, has a score of 3.16 out of 5. Fourth and third place are Price Tag and Marker with 3.18 and 3.23 out of 5 respectively. Bottle scored a 3.41 out of 5, and with a score of 3.51 out of 5, Tennis Ball was voted as the most likely to be put up for elimination. Next up is who you would be more or less likely to vote for out of the 15 remaining contestants. This one was also a section where you rate each 1 to 5, with 1 being less likely to save and 5 being more likely to save. Tennis Ball just cannot catch a break with my viewers. He has the lowest score by a good margin with just 2.51 out of 5. Seems like whether BFDIA or TPOT, he's pretty much doomed. Black Hole and Marker are next, with both in the 2.8 range. Black Hole is lower with 2.81 out of 5, and Marker is higher with 2.84. The last two outside the top 10 also happen to be the last two with a score under 3. Taggy has 2.92 out of 5, and Pencil has 2.99. A former Death Pact member in Bottle and a current Death Pact Yet Again member in Tree are next, with 3.05 and 3.09 out of 5 respectively. Lie and Grassy come next with scores of 3.15 and 3.23 out of 5. Teapot 19 seems to have considerably improved Grassy's standing, given he was second from the bottom last time. Fanny is ridiculously close to another player again. This time it's Winner, but it's also not as close. Winner had 3.257, and Fanny had 3.264 out of 5. Book and Golf Ball are next with 3.33 and 3.48 out of 5. And the top two are Pen with a score of 3.5 out of 5, and Donut, who has a score of 3.6 out of 5. Those questions all assume that the merge will happen though. I also considered the possibility that it doesn't this time. So I asked which teams you think will lose, and CloudYay was by far the highest, with Team 2 also having a solid lead. With that, we now move into the individual team questions, starting with Death Pact Yet Again. You told me who you would vote on this team and each of the other ones, so now it's time to reveal the results. Fanny has the most votes with 417. Tree comes not far behind with 389. This leaves Marker and Black Hole, the same bottom two as their prior appearance in the poll. Marker the Green is the last one safe according to the poll, and Black Hole is out with just 233 votes. Even lower than the other Death Pact Yet Again question. With just 3 members left, Team 2 is currently the smallest team. If they were to be reduced to just 2, which one would be the odd one out? It's down to Grassy or Price Tag because Book is the first safe with 545 votes. The other one safe is pretty close to Book, while the one getting out is very far behind. Most likely thanks to TPOT 19, Grassy is safe with 511 votes, and Price Tag is the first debuter to be voted out of the game with 324 votes. Bagged currently has 4 members, but it is still possible for them to lose another. Who would it be, hypothetically? It would not be Penn with 419 votes. And it would not be Bottle with 378 votes. This leaves Lai and Tennis Ball. I wonder who will get out. Yeah, if you didn't skip to this part of the video, you probably saw this one coming from a mile away. Lai is safe with 338 votes, and Tennis Ball is gone with 245 votes. Once TPOT 20's Kick It Stick occurs, CloudYay will be the largest team left. However, they could always get smaller. Here's how the vote might go if that happens. Donut is the first one safe by a decent margin with 427 votes. Not too much of a surprise there. What is a surprise is how close the other 3 are, within 22 votes of a 3-way tie. Winner is the highest of the 3 with exactly 100 less than Donut at 327. This means a Season 1 veteran is getting out, but who? It really isn't that big of a surprise after the events of TPOT 19. In fact, the fact she's even close might be more surprising. With 305 votes compared to Golf Ball's 321, Pencil will be eliminated again should this team lose again. That is all for this time. Did any of the results surprise you? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for participating in this video. Remember to subscribe with notifications on so I can reach my goal of 25,000 subscribers.